Hello and welcome to the Stanley Purple Ultra Deluxe. This is a game I really wanted to play for a couple of years, and yet we're finally playing it today. So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, and yeah, this one might be a series because like this game is really long and there's multiple different endings. So yeah, just wait until this loads. If it ever's gonna load, and yeah.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he put...
I've seen that. Yeah, I just want to get to the gameplay. Yeah. Oh, a bit fast. Oh. So this is...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ooh. This was like a liminal game. It does look liminal. Just was made in Unity, but there was a version that's still on Steam. It's just the original game, but that was made in Source. So this one is basically made in Unity. What's it for? 15.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'll go the right way this time. Yeah, so why is it so bright outside?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
These look boring. It looks boring. Broom closet. Oh, the broom closet. We'll do that.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Indeed. Go this way.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
What? Okay, this is weird. It's weird. Loading. Yeah, I don't know. What we do this then? And
descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
quite tempting. It's tempting. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Sir? No. Wait, before I go back. Yeah, it's closed, yeah. She was so tempting.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
The end is never the end. Yeah, because this all loops. Yeah.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh, great.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Like, I just started this game, then went, it's like, just a temptation. I'll restart the begin the game again. Alright, this time we'll actually do the proper, like, the first ending that I was supposed to do. So, yeah, cut to when I'm at the MY control facility. We are here. And so, basically, we just chill here. Was it? Oh yeah, true.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Was it?
Did he have the strength to find out?
This one.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
247. Was it?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy?
And 427 is.
That his emotions
So that one.
had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Yeah. No, up here.
No.
Oh.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Great. I'm glad we have a narrator.
The heart of the operation.
Make sure
Controls
says.
labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very
Facility power.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
What?
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Wait, we were supposed to turn it on or off? Wait, was it? I thought it was already off. So we're supposed to turn it off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel.
Yeah. Come
Whatever
on.
life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation.
What if he looks back? What? Wait, what?
This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Complete the Stanley Parable. Oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This should be...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Yeah.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. Ooh.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
My game just froze.
Look, Stanley,
Oh.
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for... This is it, Stanley.
Who's her?
Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another.
I literally don't know who her is. I'm really confused. It's basically all this what we know so far is Stanley was working, his co-workers were gone, and there's this narrator. Oh. Oh.
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press O.
Look at him there,
What?
pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown. Fantastic discoveries.
Yeah. Can I get out, please?
And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Just press random keys on my keyboard, like what?
First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's just
The
happened.
thought excited him terribly.
To spend time with the boys, what?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Dinner? What?
As he wandered through this fantasy
What?
world, he began to fill it with many
Huh?
possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round
I'd like to get out, please.
monitors
No.
and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer.
Okay, that just
How could
spawned
there
it.
possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested
please
he gets,
out.
the more he forgets which life
Please,
he
I want to get out.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's
There's
so
no mouse.
himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Pete.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way
I'm
that
back
he'll
in the office,
understand
okay?
that the second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself. How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. Well, not so different, I suppose.
Yeah,
I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time you'll see. Maybe you'll stop.
Please die.
Stanley pushed a button, and I tried again.
What?
And Stanley pushed a button, and I tried.
What? Sorry if that was a bit too loud, but what? Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So I'm gonna end the episode here. That we've done the official ending, and then that ending, the one that was a little go to little schizo. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.